Native people, Native culture, Native knowledge. Hi, I'm Jeannie Green, bringing you award-winning Heartbeat Alaska.
Bringing you national and international Native news, this is award-winning Heartbeat Alaska, the premier Native voice in Native programming.
There's a heartbeat, louder than thunder, revolution is in the air. There's a heartbeat deep inside our mother. Are you too cool to care?
Now, with Heartbeat Alaska, here's Jeannie Green.
Hello, welcome to Heartbeat Alaska Native News and Native Entertainment. If you're a first-time viewer, Heartbeat Alaska is Native news all from a Native perspective with an all-Native staff. I'm Jeannie Green. I'm Inupiaq, which is Northern Eskimo. My Eskimo name is Upiyok. My parents are Mabel and Jean Blatchford. Their parents on my mother's side were Annie Lieb and Tony Jewell, and on my father's side, May Herman and Percy Blatchford. Nice to meet you. On today's program, we travel to Fort Yukon, Alaska. We travel to Nome, Alaska. We get news from our own Eve Little from southwestern United States. And this week we have Keelong from Navajo Nation TV5. All that plus much more. But first, here's Gary Fife giving us a roundup of news from Indian country with Native news across the nation.
Thanks, Jeannie. This is Native News Across the Nation. I'm Gary Fife. The battle between the state of New Mexico and tribes there who operate high-stakes gambling is heating up. A state legislator bill that would have legalized gambling within the state died, and that's got Pueblo leaders upset. They're vowing to fight for their sovereign rights. The question has pitted the two groups against each other for some time now, as the state has attempted to regulate the tribal money-making operations. The Pueblos have resisted by legal means, by forming their own political action committee, and by setting their sights on upcoming elections. The tiny California Timbisha Shoshone Band has apparently lost a 63-year-old land fight with the U.S. government, but they're hoping to continue their quest for a reservation in the Death Valley National Monument. On March 7th, officials of the National Park Service and the Bureau of Land Management told the tribe under the 1994 California Desert Protection Act, it was no longer welcome on a 40-acre plot that had been set aside for them in the area. They have occupied that plot since 1933. In Canada, First Nations there are preparing to seat an international Native tribunal to examine their relationship and history with the Canadian government. Beginning April 2nd, assembled tribal leaders will present their cases in their efforts to have the Canadian government recognize their full sovereignty and rights. According to participants, it's an effort to keep the Canadian federal government from reducing their councils to mere municipal governments without treaty rights or standing. The First Nations Court of International Justice convenes April 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Native American members of the nursing profession will be meeting soon to discuss the future health care needs of Native America. The 6th Annual Indian Nursing Education Conference, beginning April 18th in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, will give them that opportunity and a chance to network among themselves. Among changes being discussed in the future of Native health care is the trend toward takeover of Indian Health Service hospitals by Natives themselves under government contract. In another gaming-related item, the Mille Lacs Band of Chippewa in northern Minnesota have their own stake in gambling, so to speak. The tribe, its casino, and Central Lakes College are collaborating to offer a college diploma in gambling. No, you don't learn to be a better blackjack player, but how to make a casino work. It's a course offering called Casino Operation and Management. The tribe says it wanted to help natives who have college credit to complete a degree program and get more natives in positions of casino management. A recent released video documentary takes a look at conflicts between natives, environmentalists, and developers at Lyle Point on the Columbia River. The northwestern U.S. River has been the target of developers who are seeking to build an exclusive residential community. Their opponents want Lyle Point to remain free and accessible. The documentary, called The Point: Legacy of River People, examines the 3-year-old controversy. For more information, contact Eastside Productions in Yakima, Washington. And finally, some people remember the beautiful voice and talent of Native American opera singer White Eagle, who died last year of AIDS. Now his legacy has been remembered with a life-size bust of the singer dedicated at the Rapid City Regional Hospital. Indian Country Today reports the statue was funded by the group Totally Rational and Sane Humans and sculpted by Don Dobbins, a former staff member at the paper. If you have news or information about your Native group or organization, please share it with us and put us on your mailing list. This is Native News Across the Nation. I'm Gary Fife, and now back to Jeannie and more Heartbeat Alaska.
Hello, Heartbeat Alaska. My name is Kevin Hayward from the Assiniboine Tribe in Saskatchewan, Canada.
Looking for adventure? Want to get away? Let's go fishing! Unalakleet River Lodge welcomes you to their rustic Alaskan setting right on the Unalakleet River. Call now for reservations. Experience the real Alaska. Great food, great getaway, great fishing. Call toll-free 1-888-450-3474. Great places and great times at the Unalakleet River Lodge.
We're on the Outdoor Channel. Heartbeat Alaska is now reaching 31 states and 28,000 RV and recreational sites in the lower 48. Advertise your rural business with us. The tourists are coming. We'll lead them to your door. Call today, 907-563-7440. Heartbeat Alaska, bringing Alaska to the world and the world to Alaska.
We travel now to Window Rock, Arizona for news from Keelong and Navajo Nation TV 5. Navajo Nation TV 5 is a television station broadcast to the Navajo reservations. Window Rock, Arizona is the capital of the Navajo Reservation, and their television station reaches many communities in New Mexico and Arizona alike. Here now is Keelong from Window Rock, Arizona.
Yate Heartbeat Alaska. Hello Heartbeat Alaska. This is Keelong reporting from the Navajo Nation. I'm standing here in the mountains near Wheatfields Lake, about 30 miles north of Window Rock, Arizona, the capital of the Navajo Nation. The reason why we came out here to show you is that about around this time, which is the early part of March, we should have about a foot of snow on the ground. As you see behind me, all you see is the forest area here and not enough snow. During the next 7 years, the Navajo Nation is expecting cutbacks in funding from the federal government. To make matters worse, the annual snowfall on the Navajo Reservation has been less and less each year. Like this winter, barely enough snow fell to cover the ground by creating moisture. One tribal official, the speaker of the 88-member Navajo Tribal Council, Mr. Kelsey A. Begay, remains optimistic about the bleak future. He has gone out to the Navajo people and has encouraged the Dene to start fixing up their cornfields and set up gardens. He says we have already in the past lived off the land. Let's show the federal government that we can survive by planting and harvesting crops in the next 7 years.
أون ده كوجن نباش كيجين خي داك أهليه بجهند دي كاتو بانسن دي كوس تو نار دي ليهلي كده ليه نني أج إنهاجي نديكا.
As the speaker further emphasized, according to Navajo traditions, we honor our mothers by bestowing nice jewelry such as beads and bracelets to make her beautiful. Let's do the same for our Mother Earth by planting seeds, growing corn, melons, and fruit so she can be decorated with fine jewelry come harvest time. To keep her beautiful, the rains will come in abundance. Keelong reporting from the Navajo Nation.
Thank you, Keelong. We look forward to your next report. And we look forward to news from Shiprock, New Mexico, and many other areas around New Mexico and Arizona for news. If you're living there, send me some news. Get your camcorder out. I'll show you how it's done. Let's travel now to Taos, New Mexico for a report from Eve Little.
If you are a child and live at Taos Pueblo village in northern New Mexico, chances are that you have a nice art studio to hang out at. Hi, I'm Eve Little. In this special two-part series, we're going to take you to northern New Mexico, where an old family tradition is being reinforced through education of arts to the children.
The mission of the Uuna Art Center is to bring about development of quality Pueblo artists through its enrichment programs for the elementary students and art-specific workshops for the older students.
Since its inception in 1972, the Taos Pueblo Uuna Art Center has provided a place for youngsters to come and learn to be self-sufficient, to take destiny into their own hands. While everyone else is in school, 13-year-old Neil Martinez is at Uuna Art Center. He says he's in trouble this week at school. By working here on a piece of silver and turquoise bracelet this week, he hopes it will help him regain his focus so he can return to class next week.
I like it. I like to make jewelry. It's neat. Get to saw and set stones, bezeling.
Plus, then you'll put a chip of solder right in that little indentation. So when you sit your bead on there, we'll clean the back of your bead roll, just put it on sandpaper, rinse it off. We're going to get a spot here, and she's going to solder some balls on there.
Working with the students, we've emphasized the craft itself, the use of tools, the materials involved, and the skills required to put pieces together. Once these kind of basic things have been mastered, now we're moving on to design and working individually with each person so they can feel a strength in their own design, and then concentrate again on the ability and the skill in order to do their designs.
Uuna's Art Center's director, Marie Reyna, says it is vital for children to have a place to go where there are plenty of supplies to nurture their creativities and imaginations.
Native people as a whole are artists. It's not a profession that we can separate from ourselves and our culture. It's an intertwined place of being for us. And however, as more and more of us become more actively involved in the contemporary society, oftentimes these arts are left by the wayside as far as education is concerned. And in the education of Native children, the arts are a tradition that need to be continued because it is a way of life. It is directly tied to our culture, and it reinforces to our children that we have been artisans and craftspeople for centuries.
It is common for Uuna Art Center to close when money gets tight, but one thing they don't run out is hope. Hope to rebuild the traditional values of the old ancient Taos Pueblo. As for the children at the Taos Pueblo village, the future looks very bright. For Heartbeat Alaska, I'm Eve Little in Taos, New Mexico.
Thank you, Eve. We travel now to interior Alaska, to an Athabascan village called Fort Yukon. A year ago, a fire burnt their school down, and a new one rose up out of the ashes.
Fire in most areas of rural Alaska means total devastation. Most fires are fought with buckets of water, not fire hoses. A year ago in Fort Yukon, Alaska, even fire hoses could not save their school. It burnt to the ground with a fury that could not be contained. Unlike most fire stories, though, this one has a happy ending. A year later, the crackle of fire has been replaced with fiddle music. A new school is built. It's time to celebrate.
Great
The people of Fort Yukon are Athabascan. They're called Cochin. Today they live in the Yukon Flats Valley. The residents are hardy souls. They've got to be. The Yukon Flats Valley, with the widest temperature range in North America, has the coldest official temperature there of minus 84 degrees, and their hottest official temperature is plus 107 degrees Fahrenheit. That's a range of over 190 degrees. It's no wonder they rallied to build a new school. The Athabascans have a history of overcoming difficulty. Around 1,300 years ago, a volcano erupted in St. Elias mountain range. Ash was spread across the Upper Yukon River drainage. Animals started to die from lack of green plants, low oxygen, and ash in the water caused the fish to die. The ash may have blocked the sun out the whole growing season. Animals that did not eat the ash-covered plants soon became ill. The ash line can still be seen today along the riverbanks of the Upper Yukon and Porcupine Rivers, an instant dateline for archaeologists. Life became difficult for the inhabitants. Facing starvation, the people had to seek new hunting and fishing grounds. They settled in the valley, possibly for the caribou, the fish spawning pools, the milder temperatures, and the easier traveling. Other groups went elsewhere. The people of the deserts became known as the Navajo Indians. The Cochin either became a part of them or are part of that people. Linguistically, their languages are similar. Fort Yukon, Alaska is the largest Athabascan Indian village and one of the oldest settlements in the state of Alaska. The fort that is presently in Fort Yukon is a replica of the original establishment that was built by the Hudson's Bay Company in 1847. The fort was constructed not as protection from the Gwich'in Indians, but as protection from the Russians. Arranging for and building the new school took 1 year. During that time, the students, teachers, community members worked together to continue the education of the children. Are they proud? You better believe it. on the Outdoor Channel. Heartbeat Alaska is now reaching 31 states and 28,000 RV and recreational sites in the lower 48. Advertise your rural business with us. The tourists are coming. We'll lead them to your door. Call today, 907-563-7440. Heartbeat Alaska, bringing Alaska to the world and the world to Alaska.
Looking for adventure? Want to get away? Let's go fishing. Unalakleet River Lodge welcomes you to their rustic Alaskan setting right on the Unalakleet River. Call now for reservations. Experience the real Alaska. Great food, great getaway, great fishing. Call toll-free 1-888-450-3474. Great places and great times at the Unalakleet River Lodge.
We bring Native news to the world. Join us as we report news from a Native perspective. Heartbeat Alaska is the Native news source for America. We welcome you to be a reporter. Call us today and we'll train you. Join the team.
Hello, welcome to Heartbeat Alaska, Native news and Native entertainment. I'm Jeannie Green.
This is Native News Across the Nation. I'm Gary Fife.
Hello, Heartbeat Alaska from way down south, Winter Rock, Arizona.
For Heartbeat Alaska and SKC Public TV, this is Annette Brown.
For Heartbeat, I'm Eve Little in Taos, New Mexico.
There's a heartbeat, louder thunder. There's a heartbeat coming up from deep down under.
Thank you, Paul Hebert from Fort Yukon, Alaska. And I understand that Paul has more video on the way. Thank you so very much. We travel now to Nome, Alaska, where Gary Fife attended a conference for drug-free youth.
He arrived with the group, armed with the weapons of education, hope, inspiration, music, and information. The Nome Red Ribbon Reach Out had a mission. They believe drug-free youth are Alaska's greatest natural resource for the future.
I don't really think there's anything wrong with drugs or alcohol. I just think that when people use it and abuse it, then it becomes wrong, but it's not really the drugs or the alcohol's fault, it's the person's.
What about young people your age using it? Is that right or wrong?
It's wrong, but we're doing it to ourselves. It's not the drugs that's doing it to us. So, I don't know. I mean, I admit, I used to drink. I used to do bad things I shouldn't, but I don't know.
But now you know the difference now, so to speak?
Yeah.
You've seen the difference now?
I had a loving mother who helped me out, so.
That's wonderful. That's
Yeah.
really good. Is it important to have people support you then if you choose not to do these kinds of things?
Definitely.
It's hard too, isn't it?
Yeah.
So many kids.
Information, support, affirmation, all effective weapons in the fight against drugs and alcohol, leading killers of our youth. Jonathan Reveal, a youth organizer of the Reach Out, has seen the effects of drug and alcohol abuse. Because of this, he was inspired to help others.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people who have used who have realized that it was rather, that using was lame, that it was pointless. And a lot of them have on their own decided that it was lame and have given up use, and just decided that they started seeing where they were going and see the path that they were heading down and realizing that they were going to really end up down in strong, end up in the gutter. They could see, because it's so predominant in town, it's not like hidden in a back closet. You can see the effects of people using for 20, 30 years. You see.
Greg Nostein's message of sobriety is evident. There's joy and hope in being sober. Being a teen is not easy for Native and non-Natives alike. Sometimes it's very lonely and weird. The outreach group traveled from Anchorage to share everything they could. Juggling to entertain, playing music, speeches, all with the message, you are our future and we love you.
This reminds me about a long time ago when I used to sit on my daddy's lap. He
who don't like you for what you are. Just stand tall and be yourself, 'cause by now you should know who you are. In case you forget, I'm gonna tell you what my daddy said to me. Because he said, you are you, and you are me. You wouldn't be here if it wasn't for me. You are you, and you are my family.
Thank you once again for joining us for Heartbeat Alaska, Native News and Native Entertainment. I'm Jeannie Green. Appreciate you inviting us into your home, and I'm looking forward to video from your village, from your reservation or your community. I appreciate the video that's sent in. We haven't heard from Minnesota. We need video, and Wisconsin, from the state of Washington. Share your news, and we're looking forward to video from the Seminole tribe in Florida. I'm Jeannie Green, thanking you once again for joining us, and for all of us here, have a wonderful week, and God bless.
Go in and Tennessee.